The dining facility at Forward Operating Base Falcon Ridge hummed with the usual morning chaos. The clang of silverware against trays, the murmur of conversations, and the steady thump of distant generators created a rhythm that most soldiers ignored. Boots scraped against concrete. Trays slid across metal counters. Soldiers moved in patterns they barely noticed. In the far corner, tucked away from laughter and chatter, Chief Petty Officer Clare Donovan sat alone. 34 years old, small-framed, hair pulled back with clinical precision. Her tablet glowed in the dim light, encrypted schematics dancing across the screen. She ate quietly, methodically, each bite deliberate. No one saw her. No one noticed, until the storm arrived. 3 figures entered like a sudden gust that refused to bend. Gunnery Sergeant Cole Maddox led, broad-shouldered, voice carrying before he even reached her. Behind him, Corporal Reyes and Corporal Dunn followed, the shadows of his presence stretching over them. Their laughter preceded them. Maddox leaned across Claire's table. His shadow swallowed her tray. Words spat like bullets, worthless, dropout. A 5-foot nothing pretending to be a warrior, each insult louder than the last. Then his hand shot forward, slapping the tray off the table. Food skittered across the floor. The mess hall froze. Claire didn't flinch. She closed her tablet, stood, walked out, calm, silent, unshakable. Maddox smirked, assuming his victory, unaware that he had merely set the stage for his own undoing. Claire's world on Falcon Ridge operated in frequencies others couldn't hear. While the rest of the base measured their days in patrols, briefings, and smoke breaks, she measured hers in signal strengths, interference patterns, and quiet gaps where enemy transmissions liked to hide. Officially, she was a Navy chief on temporary assignment to integrate a digital warfare package. Her quarters reflected the same discipline. Narrow bed, tight, uniform folded, boots aligned heel to heel. Desk sparse, laptop, notepad, a single mug. No posters, no clutter. Lines and numbers formed a quiet map of survival, frequency hopping patterns, fallback bands, contingency plans. Each pencil mark was a thread of control, a method to keep soldiers alive when chaos struck. Claire's habits reinforced her control. Before dawn, she glided into the base pool, hair braided, towel over her shoulder, expression unreadable. She swam long, controlled lengths, submerged for minutes, motionless under cold water. Her breath calm, her body precise. Not exercise, calibration. First escalation, a hallway. Concrete walls, flickering fluorescent lights. Claire walked with her tablet tucked under one arm. Reyes and Dunn leaned against the wall, pretending to check clipboards. Maddox stepped from a side door, blocking her path. "Hey, Chief," he called, voice just loud enough. "Sleep okay after throwing your little tantrum in the DFAC? Or do SEAL rejects cry themselves to sleep in binary code?" At the operations center, she monitored signal strength, adjusted dials. Maddox approached again with Reyes and Dunn, full kit, rifles slung, a display of combat readiness. "Tech clerk," Maddox sneered, dropping gloves near her hand. "When bullets start flying, you gonna come out from behind your laptop or send encouraging emails to the bad guys?" Her nightly log grew line by line, purely documentation, time, location, names, wording. No emotion, no opinion, just facts. Every encounter was cataloged. Jokes persisted, small and creeping. Gym, mailroom, corridors, everywhere Maddox tried to provoke, Claire absorbed. She noted patterns, hallway angles, camera blind spots, positions of attackers. She did not avoid, she accounted. The confrontation came one night in a maintenance corridor. Red light from overhead fixtures cast shadows over steel and stacked crates. Claire walked through a blind spot in camera coverage. Maddox, Reyes, and Dunn formed a sloppy triangle. "Well, look who's out past curfew," Maddox said, blocking the path. "Chief Donovan, the ghost of the comms bay." The morning sun cut across Falcon Ridge in shards of gold and dust, illuminating the parade ground. The concrete stretched like a battlefield map, each crack a scar of years of drills and storms. Soldiers lined up, boots scraping in rhythmic precision, eyes forward, faces unreadable. At the edge of formation, Chief Petty Officer Clare Donovan approached, tablet tucked under one arm, hair braided tight, uniform crisp but unassuming. Maddox noticed first, his chest rising with irritation, lips curled in that same smirk that had become habitual. Behind him, Reyes and Dunn avoided eye contact. The garrison commander, Colonel Simmons, stood at the podium, eyes sharp, voice carrying. "Today we address conduct unbecoming an officer and a NCO. Let the records show we value discipline, accountability, and professionalism. Whispers swept the ranks like a low wind. Claire's calm never wavered. She adjusted her posture, aligning herself with the squad beside her. Not too stiff, not too loose, perfectly balanced. Maddox stepped forward, chest out, hands clenching and unclenching. He began his recital, words honed for maximum humiliation. Chief Donovan, technically a support role, has allowed insubordination to... Claire's mind was elsewhere. Lines of code, communication frequencies, deployment windows, they all ran through her like a quiet orchestra. Every word Maddox spat at her she catalogued, processed, and calculated. Then, the unexpected, and demonstrated capabilities far beyond her official classification. Heads turned. Maddox froze mid-step. Colonel Simmons' gaze cut through him like a blade. Clare Donovan, the colonel continued, we've reviewed your operational logs, mission data, and the impact of your interventions. Your contributions have saved lives, ensured communication integrity, and prevented catastrophic failures. I want it on record that your actions are commendable. The crowd of soldiers shifted, some faces slackened, disbelief mixing with grudging respect. Maddox's jaw clenched, veins bulging in irritation. Claire remained still. No smirk, no smile, just a quiet, deliberate inhale. She had done nothing for recognition, never had. The parade ended, but the real work waited. Claire returned to the operations bay. Screens flickered, lights hummed, and the soft thrum of machinery filled the air. She touched the console, reviewing encrypted channels, confirming relay integrity. She was meticulous because survival required it. Not just hers, but the soldiers depending on her unseen efforts. A convoy could be stranded in enemy territory, a drone misrouted, a call for help swallowed by static. Every adjustment mattered. Every calibration saved lives. Reyes approached hesitantly. Chief, we saw what happened out there. You handled Maddox. Claire didn't look up. Fingers danced across a tablet, correcting a misaligned frequency. Document everything, she said flatly. Mistakes go into logs. Patterns are useful. Reyes nodded. He didn't understand. Few did. Maddox wasn't done. That evening he sought Claire in the maintenance corridors, thinking to humiliate her one final time. She expected it. She waited, sensors attuned to footsteps, shadow patterns, environmental echoes. Thought you could avoid me, tech clerk? Maddox growled. Claire stepped from the shadows, calm. 9 seconds later, Maddox found himself pinned against a wall. Joint precisely controlled, muscles locked, balance rendered useless. Claire's voice remained monotone. Walk away. The record is clean. Your actions are not. Reyes and Dunn scrambled in, but even they faltered under her calculated precision. Silence followed. Not fear, awareness, recognition. Words spread through Falcon Ridge like wildfire. Soldiers whispered in mess halls, barracks, and gyms. Have you seen Donovan in action? She's not what we thought. Claire returned to her quarters. Tablet open, logs updated, every incident recorded, every movement accounted for. Not for credit, not for reputation, for control, for survival. A small knock at the door. She opened it. Lieutenant Harris, a signal officer, stood with an envelope. Colonel Simmons sent this, he said, stepping back. You've been assigned permanent integration with the Joint Signal Task Force. Effective immediately. Claire took the envelope, examined it, folded it carefully. Understood, she said. Harris hesitated. They recognize what you do. Not many get that. Claire nodded once. No further words. Actions spoke louder than recognition. The night was quiet. The base slept under a blanket of stars, generators humming, vehicles lined in the compound like steel animals waiting. Claire stood outside, tablet in hand, eyes scanning faint light trails in the desert sky. Satellite feeds, drone paths, communication gaps. She remembered Maddox's voice, his sneer, the smug laughter of men who thought size, rank, or volume could define capability. She also remembered the soldiers she kept alive with invisible strings of signal, encryption, and timing. Her small frame, unnoticed by most, had just rewritten expectations. The final confrontation came weeks later. Maddox had returned from a training exercise, tense, ready to reassert dominance. He found Claire in the signals bay, alone. You think this changes anything? He snapped, gesturing to her screens. It changes survival, Claire replied softly. Patterns predict behavior. Signals save lives. Actions define capability, not noise. Maddox charged. Quick, loud, brute force. Claire countered with calm precision. Each move anticipated, each hold calculated. Maddox ended against the wall, defeated in 10 seconds. Humiliation etched into his features. She didn't gloat. She didn't raise her voice. She adjusted a console, signaling mission updates to units miles away. "Walk away," she said again. This time, he did. Falcon Ridge shifted quietly. Soldiers walked with a new awareness. Maddox stayed out of her path. Reyes and Dunn observed. The rumor of her ability spread not myth, not exaggeration, but quiet acknowledgement of skill, discipline, and unseen power. Claire returned to her quarters. She placed the trident patch back in its drawer. The paracord bracelet remained on her wrist. A faint scar traced her shoulder, a reminder that control was hard-won, and respect earned silently. No one knew her history fully. Few would guess the depth of experience in every small, precise movement. But she had done her work, saved lives, and remained invisible until recognition was deserved, not demanded. Her tablet lit up. Signals, patterns, encrypted chatter, all normal. She scanned them, confirming alignment. Then she paused, just for a moment. A quiet smile touched her lips, not for recognition, not for victory, but for the order she maintained in chaos, the lives she had safeguarded, and the calm that would carry into every mission ahead. Falcon Ridge slept. Clare Donovan did not. She never did.